So even at a time when the entire country is mourning the loss of these 5 brave men of the Indian Armed Forces, ugly politics still continues to escalate. You now have a reaction that's coming in from the Shiv Sena UBT MP Sanjay Raut, who in fact has taken a dig at the centre. This is what he's gone on to say, that just in the last 4 days, we've had 2 captains and others from the Indian Army who've been martyred. But I did not hear the Prime Minister and the Home Minister expressing any word of condolences during the campaign in the states where elections are due. What was your role? You want to make a Congress-free India in elections and a Shiv Sena-free Maharashtra in the election. But when will you make Kashmir terrorism-free Kashmir? So that's the question that in fact is being posed by the opposition. But as we pointed out, the timing of all of this is very unfortunate. We've just lost 5 of our brave Indian Army men. This is going to be disastrous for their families and even for the armed forces, even though they've seen success with the neutralization of these 2 terrorists. But ugly spat of politics still continues. Akash continues to be with us on the broadcast. And Akash, unfortunately, this isn't the first time that we're seeing politics like this erupt. Every single time when we have some news of martyrdom that emerges from the valley, the opposition hits out at the centre. One would at least expect that in a situation like this, politics can really be kept out of it.
Exactly, and politicians should avoid at least politics over the incidents like such where we have lost 5 of our jawans. In fact, the figure I was looking at, 2 captains and 4 soldiers, is factually incorrect. We have lost 5 of our jawans, and this is very unfortunate. But a responsible citizen of this country, and in fact a politician who used to be a CM, is talking like that. Also, he is talking about the Prime Minister, that the Prime Minister hasn't said a word. It is to decide. It is the politicians who will decide as to what is the kind of stand that they want to take. But you see, this is very unfortunate, Ridhima, because we have at least 5 families who have lost their loved ones. In fact, I was listening to one soundbite of Captain M.B. Pranjal's father. He was saying that since childhood he wanted to join army. In 2014, he joined OTA Gaya. And when he was posted in Jammu and Kashmir 2 years back, he was very excited. He used to brief his father about the operations that he is going for. And his father did not know that one day he'll go for an operation, and to avoid collateral damage, to save someone's life, to save some civilian's life, he lost his life. This is what the story is, and this is not the only story. We have a number of stories from the families of these soldiers who we have lost in this particular encounter. But politicians, I don't know what is the thought process, what is the kind of thought that they go through with, and they react in such a way.
Unfortunate bit that we are seeing politics erupt over the loss of 5 brave Indian men. As we pointed out, these were 2 young captains. They were a paratrooper and a havaldar as well. But unfortunate that you have politics erupt where the opposition is now training their guns at the centre. They're questioning the silence of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. But what is important to now understand here is what really happened as far as the Rajouri district is concerned. So let's break down all those details. As we pointed out, there was enough intel for our armed forces since the month of October. They knew that these terrorists in fact had been hiding in this area, and finally there was a fierce gun battle that happened over the last 2 days that led to these 2 terrorists in fact being neutralized. But this is something that we were discussing with Akash a short while ago. Why do areas like Poonch, Pir Panjal, Rajouri, they continue to be conducive as far as a shelter for these terrorists are concerned? And also what is important to note is that these were not the typical areas that were being used by the terrorists. So there is a change of their strategy as well. The plan in fact has been changed after the presence of more forces as far as the valley is concerned. These jungles, as Akash was also rightly pointed out, they're in fact interconnected, and that's why the terrain even to look for these terrorists becomes quite challenging even for the armed forces. This entire area is in fact full of natural hideouts that becomes extremely very conducive as far as these terrorists are concerned. They also take shelter behind a lot of these boulders, exactly what happened in this case as well. The terrorists are taking advantage of people residing there as well. So they get enough shelter in even the locals that are residing in those areas. People are residing in areas that are hard to approach, and that is continuing to be a challenge as far as our armed forces is concerned, because it's not very easy to navigate through the terrain on the forests, especially in these areas. We'll continue to track all those developments. I'd like to thank our colleague Akash as well.